DBL Nation. It's Tuesday morning, February 5th. I'm Kelly.
It's February 5th?
Yes,
Hello, everyone. I'm Tori Schulman, and welcome to the break room.
February 5th.
I can't believe it's already happening. Guys, Punxsutawney Phil did not see his shadow.
No, he did not.
So we are getting more spring, and it means we trust rodents more than scientists for climate change.
It does. It does mean that.
It's a meme going around.
Oh, shucks.
I thought it was funny.
Guys.
But that's good news. So spring's coming.
Yes, spring is coming, and it's coming sooner. I'm excited about that. We've kind of had a mild winter here in Denver. We've gotten a few snows.
I think
and the snows have been intense, but we've only gotten a couple of them, so it hasn't been that bad. You guys have had mild winters since we've been here.
Oh, really?
Since you guys have been here, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was not mild.
There's sometimes where we have blizzards, and it's pretty wild. But right now, all good. It's going to be like 60 degrees today, and then tomorrow it's going to be like 20 degrees. So
I'm very back and forth.
Make sure you drip your faucets. DBL Nation, I know you guys know that. When there's a really big temperature change, your pipes can freeze. So just drip them just ever so slightly. Just
the whole night or what?
Yeah, you should.
Really?
You really should, yeah. So
I didn't know.
Especially in an old house, if you have an older home.
I have an old house.
Yes. So
guys, it's getting painted today.
Oh my gosh, we don't have to talk about the paint anymore. You'll have to show everyone once it's done.
Oh,
so you can see it.
I'm a little concerned about the white ceiling because I went with a kind of a gray tone, but
it'll be okay.
Okay.
It'll be great. And if not,
I know, but it's a north-facing cold. I'm just worried, but we're gonna go for it.
It's all gonna be okay. Guess what else is tonight?
State of the Union.
Yes, Tori guessed it. The State of the Union is tonight.
This is my Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, it is?
Well, think about it. It's my...
It is your Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So do you have like a whole dinner planned and everything for tonight?
Nah.
You should. Any reason to celebrate. Anyways.
I'll be probably having some wine.
Yeah, well, that's good. So after a lot of back and forth between President Trump and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, it's finally happening tonight. President Trump is inviting multiple guests, as the presidents do. A daughter of parents murdered by an illegal immigrant, an opioid addict, a witness to the Pittsburgh shooting that killed 11, and a 6th grade student bullied because his name is Joshua Trump.
Yeah, I heard about Joshua Trump.
Yeah, he's sweet. We'll talk about that more on the show today. I'll be following the story.
I think he's sweet. I think it's super weird he's bringing him.
Yes.
Okay.
The little boy is sweet.
Oh, yes. I'm sure Joshua Trump has a hard time. I get it.
But he's only 11.
Yeah.
But he's in 6th grade.
If you're really about to tell me to stop bullying from your mouth to God's ears from Donald Trump.
Yeah, so we'll see about that. Oh, see, Rainey on YouTube. Hi, Rainey. My pipes froze, then burst, flooded, $35,000 worth of damage.
Oh, my gosh.
It's pretty wild. That
so,
can totally
Rainey,
happen.
do you just turn on the faucet all night?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just drip it.
Just to drip it.
Drip, drip, ever so slightly.
Do it one more time.
Drip, drip.
Show me what a faucet's like. This is a friend.
Oh, I'm in a bad mood today.
Why?
I can't tell you why, because I'm going to upset one of our DBL Nationers. Somebody spoiled Big Brother for me. I know.
Oh, boy.
It's my fault. I should have watched it.
There's 3 people we know are out, right? Well,
yes, but now
Scaramucci.
4 last night. There was a 4th, and I didn't watch it because I went to bed early, like I shouldn't have.
So who do you know that's out? Don't spoil it. Who do you know that's out?
Joey.
Okay, so I didn't know if you knew about Joey.
Yes.
There's something else.
There's someone else last night.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed because it's the alliance I like, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. I know. So.
Remember when Joey Lawrence was like, I don't like alliances? And I'm like, then don't go to Big Brother.
Why did he do Why did he do that?
I can't believe he did that. Why are you going to do that to Big Brother? That's like going...
Well, he came out and said it after he got evicted. He's like, yeah, I don't know what I was doing.
What was he doing?
I don't think he
That's
did.
going to the Kentucky Derby being like, I don't like big hats.
Yeah, it is. That's exact or mint juleps. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. Mint juleps, yeah. So Stacey Abrams, back to the State of the Union address.
Yes.
Sorry, I got sidetracked there. Stacey Abrams. What do we know about Stacey Abrams? She's giving the Democratic response.
Now, she is making a big, big move in the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Stacey Abrams is a huge up and coming. She almost won, I believe, Georgia, and she is somewhat very, very quiet and very, very powerful. And there's something when you have on one side, which some people like, the Trump, and then you have someone quiet who just stands their ground, it's really impressive. So she's giving the rebuttal to the State of the Union. You usually see that.
Yep.
There's been some great moments in rebuttals. Remember, of course, the famous Marco Rubio. No one listened to a word he said because he guzzled water the entire time, if you guys remember that.
I do remember
there's
that.
been some really interesting ones. Sarah Palin's had some great rebuttals. So they're fun to watch. But Stacey Abrams, watch it. It's going to be very cerebral. It'll be very to the point, and it'll be very sort of toned down.
Okay.
And it'll be effective.
So one thing I like about tonight is that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is going to be behind Trump, literally, watching over his shoulder, literally and figuratively.
I was trying really hard.
I messed it up.
It was good. It's true. She's going to be right behind.
That line. It was really good.
It's going to be very odd to have Pelosi behind
right
you.
behind him.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
So DBL Nation, will you be watching tonight? Whether you agree with President Trump or not, do you still believe you should tune in because he is our president? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Yes. Now, some people expect to be, very kind and very open. I think it's going to be a hard right-wing Stephen Miller, who is the architect of the anti-immigration policy. If you've ever seen him, he is very, very right-wing about the immigration policy. He writes the immigration speeches. I think it's going to be a Stephen Miller speech.
I do too.
And
I think it's going to be intense.
It's going to be intense.
I think so too.
Because he hasn't had that moment in a long time, and he likes that moment.
Yeah, he wants that. He feeds off of that stuff. So yeah, I agree. So DBL Nation, let us know if you will be watching. Jason on Facebook, thanks for joining us, Jason. I personally don't think that Trump bringing the kid with the same last name is anything new or crazy. I could see Obama doing the same kid with a young name whose last name was Obama. We'd all think it was cute. That's a really good point, Jason.
No, it's not that point. It's that he's saying this kid's been bullied when his entire presidency, in my opinion, is about bullying. And he's open about that. I don't think he hides being a bully. He names people Pocahontas, Crooked Hillary. He likes that kind of bullying tactic. It's from Roy Cohn, and people know that. So why all of a sudden are you doing...
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
That's Melania's sort of platform.
Ellis on YouTube says, it wasn't me, Kelly, that gave you the Big Brother news. No, Ellis, you always keep your lips sealed. I appreciate that. I'm going to tell you who it was. It was John Venturini.
I knew it was John Venturini.
John. And he wasn't spoiling it. He just wanted to show me this funny tweet, and I had already told him don't spoil it for me, and now he feels bad. It's fine.
Oh, that's hard.
Ooh, Rainey says, I'll be ordering a pizza, opening a nice bottle of wine, then preparing to scream at my TV. Fair enough, Rainey.
There you go, boo.
Naomi says, super congested here in Florida. Grass pollen is already at a level 10.
Ooh,
oh, no.
God.
Yeah, I'm very allergic to all of that, so I couldn't do it.
I'm like getting itchy just from hearing
Yeah,
that.
I am too. I get hives really easily, and they just come out of nowhere. Hugh, watching from north of Scotland, Tori, your favorite Scottish chef.
Hugh!
Great stuff as always. Hi, Hugh. I remember you.
Oh my God, he was the best.
He was the best. I was so jealous I wasn't there.
Oh, we had such good food.
Yeah.
Hugh, so good hearing from you. And from
Hi, Hugh.
Tell us how the weather is in Scotland.
Yeah, how's
Personally,
the weather?
methinks it's a good time. I think that's more Irish.
That was more Irish, but it was good. It was a good Irish.
Freedom! Alrighty.
I want to go to Scotland so bad, Hugh.
Oh, can't wait.
Let's keep going. Oh, Tammy Gibson has a good question for you, Tori.
Yeah.
She says, Tori, do people volunteer to give the rebuttal, or do they take turns? Thank you, DBL Nation. Here's that.
No, I'm just going to stand over you guys ominously.
Like Nancy Pelosi's going to do to the State of the Union in front of Trump. No, they are invited to do the rebuttal, and usually everything is held by the DNC. So you are asked to do a rebuttal. You don't volunteer to do a rebuttal. So Stacey Abrams is a smart choice, in my opinion, to do the rebuttal. She's calm, she's collected, she's smart, and she doesn't fight back with anger. She fights back with her brain, and that's really hard for Trump, I think. So we're going to see how that goes. Toronto felt some early spring weather, says Kyle Baxter. Oh, I want some spring, don't you?
Yeah, it's time.
It's time.
It's time. I would say it's been a pretty mild winter here in Colorado.
Why does everyone keep saying that?
It hasn't been that bad.
I thought it was
I'm from
very...
Cleveland. This is nothing.
Yeah, the two snows we got.
It's 19 degrees outside. Okay.
That's all right.
Okay. In other news, we do want to let you guys know that the prosecutors have subpoenaed Trump's inaugural committee.
Is that good?
That's bad. So we can move on. No, just kidding. Sources say federal prosecutors in New York subpoenaed President Trump's inaugural committee. CNN reports it requires the committee now to turn over all their documents and related to virtually every donor or donation, every attendee at every committee event, piece of paperwork, any possibility of donations made by foreign nationals. They also, it says, it discloses that prosecutors are now investigating a litany of potential crimes, conspiracy against the United States, false statements, mail fraud, wire fraud, money laundering, inaugural committee disclosure violations, and violations of laws prohibiting. You can just tell us.
You can move off, Trump.
Oh, okay. So anyway, that's all we're talking about here. So big news, and we're going to move right along off Trump. And not good, but interesting.
Right.
Important given the State of the Union address tonight.
Agreed. So we are going to move on to the fifth host, which you guys are already writing about, which is crazy. They are thinking of banning cigarette smoke. So Hawaii is considering banning them to anyone under 100, which
Hawaii
is...
5 no.
That got a laugh? What?
That was terrible.
Yesterday.
Thank you, Kelly.
So unexpected.
No, it wasn't.
It was not bad, Tori.
Yesterday I said 9021, oh no, and nobody laughed.
That's expected.
I didn't hear it. I would have laughed. That's funny.
She's retroactively laughing.
I also would laugh.
Thank you. Okay, thanks. Okay, we're back on board.
Okay.
So this is interesting. Hawaii is considering banning it for people under 100, which is effectively banning it, basically. The pill would raise...
What if you took up smoking when you were 100? I would respect that.
That's true. The bill would raise the age to 30 by 2020, 40 by 2021, 50 by 2022, 60 in 2023, and 100 in 2024. Now, the minimum smoking age is currently 21. Is it time to ban cigarettes? Is this fair? Albert Jackson, what do you think?
I don't know. It's, I don't know.
Good response to a talk show host. I don't know.
I don't know if we want to start telling people what to do, although obviously seatbelts, helmets, there are different laws in place. I know a lot of people are saying, well, doesn't that violate your right? I would say that we have a larger responsibility to the greater good. And if we have parents that are dying needlessly because of car accidents or dying needlessly because of motorcycle accidents, which obviously is very dangerous, that responsibility to raise your children, which you decided to bring on this planet, then falls to next of kin or to the state.
Or to the state.
So I think that we all, because we will be inheriting some of this responsibility, do have a say in how you protect yourself. But at the same time, last time I checked, it's still legal to go skydiving.
This raises a great point. Nellie Vala from Facebook says, everyone has the right to breathe, and smokers are very dangerous to people who do not smoke, who have asthma, who have lung problems. So yes, I agree with the ban. Michael Tubiolo says, I'm a smoker, but support this. Very interesting. I don't want them available for my kids. Growing up in the 90s, it was too cool to smoke, and getting them at a younger age in New York was way too easy. John Collier from Facebook, I smoked for 42 years and finally quit. Mazel, by the way. Mazel on you. So if you can keep a kid healthy and really tell them they are deadly over time, then the addiction will take away from concentrating. So, but however, we have all these other people that say this. Darlene, what is next? Ban on coffee because it's addictive. Kraft orange cheese has cancer-promoting chemicals. Ban is not healthy. I'd be really careful, says Brian Smith, about advocating for this much power in the government. What else is coming? Carl Adams, it's not an illegal substance. It shouldn't be banned. I would ban marijuana and alcohol before I'd ban cigarettes. Wow. He says marijuana and alcohol promote driving and operating heavy machinery under the influence. Carl Muchler says, I don't smoke, but this seems a bit much. Kyle Baxter says, I gotta say, ban the cigarettes. And Rainey says, I go to Hawaii often and am too soon to quit smoking. Good for you. Vaping is huge on the islands, but it's almost impossible to find a smoking section anywhere.
Well, I would ask,
wow, you guys are fired up.
I think the word ban really bothers people.
You think prohibition. You think alcohol, moonshine, bootleg, throwing it out the window. We're going to find our way around. It didn't work. It was an amendment that got repealed. So, yeah.
Well, I would say that the ban on supersizing did work. You can't go to McDonald's and get a tub of fries given to you. You cannot get a giant soda. I remember, I think it was Bloomberg that
but that's only New York.
But I'm saying that we do have to talk about public health. That is a thing, and no different than immunity, vaccinations. Public health is a big deal. And again, that's going to affect your pocketbook, because if you do have a lot of people that are not eating healthy, they are going to end up at the hospital, and that is going to eventually cost you. So, I mean, it does, people that do develop lung cancer, which has obviously been shown cigarettes will lead to, eventually it will affect your pocketbook, so you do have a say. Because you're going to pay for it.
True, but guess what? So does obesity, causes more deaths than almost anything. Are we going to ban hamburgers? Are we going to ban French fries? Are we going to ban? That's a national epidemic.
I think that we have curbed some of it.
I don't know if we have. Well, Christine Kohler-Owen says, I have a cigarette right now watching you. And to be honest, she's allowed to. And Christine, if you're still watching us and not, through the haze, let us know do you agree with this or not? Now, I'm surprised to see some smokers say this is okay. What does Tori always say about bans? 2 words starts with an S's.
Controlled by the government.
Okay, it doesn't. That's 5 words, and none of them start with an S. Slippery slope.
Oh, yes.
God.
Hawaii 5, no.
Yeah. Control by the...
Again, sometimes I act like a libertarian. I don't love a lot of big government taking over my little choices. I don't like smoking, but I also think that you should be allowed to be an adult. And if you can go to war and we can have you be shot, can you have a cigarette on your way there?
Well, I think that it's like you always say, where do your rights end and my rights start?
That's right.
I mean, there is a reason that you can't smoke right in front of a building. It's because when people walk in and out of that building, whether they're smokers or not, same reason you can't smoke in a bar, because there might be a bartender or a waitress or waiter there that don't smoke, and being inside of that place, you are making a decision against their will to make sure they ingest smoke into their body. So,
but seems to me that is doing something proactive. But banning cigarettes from, let's say I'm an 85-year-old dude that wants to smoke out on my balcony every night.
You gotta wait 15 years.
But that doesn't seem American to me.
That
seems very sort of, in a way, and I know this is an exaggeration, North Korean, like, I tell you what you can or cannot do. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but you're again looking at it just from the individual. I think that people that do smoke have a responsibility, especially if you have children that are not of 18 years old, if you have neighbors, if you are in a workplace, your decision is then affecting other people. And I'm not for a smoking ban, but I do think we have curbed it. You can't smoke in restaurants anymore. You used to be able to smoke on airplanes.
Remember that non-smoking section?
Yes, that was very
It's a tube, honey.
So we have made we've made strides to curb it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if banning is the way to go.
Because that means you couldn't enjoy it by yourself without harming anyone in your house.
I have no problem with somebody smoking a ciggy in their house or on their balcony.
Right.
But there might be somebody above them saying, hey, your cigarette smoke is coming onto my balcony. So smoking is a different thing than any other, because it travels and it stays.
That's a really good point.
And so, if you have a roommate that smokes, even if they're not there, that smoke is in the curtains, it's in the walls.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, nuanced conversation, but I'm glad we get to have it deep with you guys.
2 questions.
Please.
Corey, first of all, don't you think that Hawaii is uniquely posed to have this actually be very successful because they're in the middle of the water? So it's not like the other states are going to be able to cross, they're out there on their own, so they're not going to have other cigarettes kind of really be flowing in. Where if you're in Idaho and you ban this, what's stopping everyone from going to all the other neighboring states and getting those cigarettes?
I like that you couldn't think of one neighboring state for Idaho.
Idaho. And then the second question is, why do you think they did it this way with the
Gradual.
Yeah, the gradual, rather than just doing like a...
I think, to be honest, they did studies, and they found that studies that go gradual are just going to be more effective and more easing you into it. I wonder if... Jason brings up a point saying if you're in Idaho, you could always go like bootleg yourself and go get it from another state and bring it in. But Hawaii is alone and sort of surrounded by water. I just can't imagine that if they banned cigarettes in Hawaii, there wouldn't be a whole industry of cigarettes coming into Hawaii.
Black market
yeah, that's how I feel, right?
Look, people are going to get their cigarettes. It's unfortunate, but it is. I think that what we need to do is, again, we need to go after the younger generation. And I think we're talking about cigarettes, which is a fool's errand, because I think we should be talking about vaping. Vaping is what the kids are doing now, not smoking cigarettes.
But I will say for vaping, it's 50%, and someone already wrote this, for cessation of smoking, it helps it tremendously in quitting smoking, and it does help. So I do think vaping is dangerous, but I also think vaping is more palatable to people indoors and neighbors.
I'd agree with that.
You know what I mean?
With that. Yeah, cigarette smoke is particularly pungent and odoriferous.
Is that a word?
I think so. Odorous.
Oh, nodoriferous. Did I do it?
Yes. So, for the cigarettes, we have love for our cigarette smokers, but we also have to understand that there's a greater good here that we all need to strive for. But to our cigarette smokers and everybody smoking, watching us right now, take a drag and keep it a joy.
Well, listen to this. Cheryl Hanna says, I have asthma now from secondhand smoke. So what if the ban, and I'm asking this to people who have been affected, is you can smoke in your house, but you can't, I know, but you can't tell someone that they can't do something in their privacy of their own home. I find that is really intrusive and violating me on several levels that make me have red flags go up everywhere. Now it's what I can wear, what I can eat, what I can drink, what I can smoke, what I can see, what I can go on the internet, what I can watch. All of this makes me feel very uncomfortable. So what if it was just like you can't do it in public? Would that be okay?
No, because then you have people smoking cigarettes with their kids in their homes because they can't go out in public.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a tough
Here,
one.
this is, hey, Rainey, I'm for keeping smoking out of parks, beaches, public places, but if you're of age, you should have the option to use a legal substance.
Yes, well, that's the question. We're questioning legality. So
can we make them illegal?
I mean, and we have been, didn't we ban Four Loko?
Yeah.
Like, we do ban things that are deleterious to your health. So I don't understand why this wouldn't fall into that, too, except for the fact that Big Tobacco has a much bigger war chest than
Four Loko was definitely advertised to children, and children were definitely drinking it and dying quickly from it. So there was an immediate effect people could see. So I could see that being marketed to children wasn't fair, and that's sort of why they used that to take it down. But you make a valid point. If you can do it to Four Loko, can you make the argument that cigarettes immediately cause lung cancer? I mean, can you make that jump? You all remember the famous photo, right? Where all the white people, all the white guys of Philip Morris said, do you think smoking is addictive? And they all raised their hand and they all said, absolutely not. This was in the last 2 decades. I mean, that's how far we are from like really believing smoking can kill you. There are people, executives still saying it's not addictive. So at that point, are we there yet where we can say cause and effect, cause and effect? I don't know if we're there yet. Shani Joe Levinson Friedman on Facebook, I think it's ridiculous. If you own your own home, you should be able to smoke in it if you want, whether it be a condominium, a townhome, or a freestanding home. I'm sort of with Shani Joe on this. And I don't like smoking, and I don't like smoke. I don't like having smoke around me, but I think the privacy issue and the idea of my own agency in my own country bothers me more, I guess.
Right, it does seem like you're giving up something, but my question is, well, I guess my thought is you give up more of your rights the more dense of a population that you live in.
Very true.
If you live 200 miles outside of Billings, Montana, and there's moose in your yard every morning, you have more rights. You can probably walk around your property naked because no one's around. You can smoke cigarettes. You can shoot wild game. When you live in a dense city, you now have other people next to you. You probably share a wall with somebody. You probably interact with people. You're on elevators with people. And because of that, you do have to be prepared to give up some of your rights to take in some of the... But there's positives too. When you live in the city, hey, the stadium's right there. There's a bunch of bars right there.
Right.
The cinema, everything is around you.
So you're saying it's a compromise.
It's a compromise. When you decide to live in a more dense population, there are positives to that, but there are also negatives as well. So I think when people talk about giving up their rights and when people do talk about libertarianism, I think that can work, but it only works on a scale where you are almost damn near isolated. When you're isolated, you can do more of what you want. And if you really want to smoke cigarettes that bad, if you're like, I want to be in a nudist colony, if you're like, I want to be a big game hunter or a crossbow hunter, you can do all that, but you got to do that over there.
Okay, that's really fair. That's interesting. Singing Mary says, I'm not a smoker, but lived with my mother who was a smoker, and it did affect me. My mother eventually died from lung cancer. Smoking infringes on somebody else's health. There should be laws. Yeah, I totally understand that. I'm just trying to think, I mean, this is a far false equivalency, but you could say car accidents affect other people. When you drive, you can have a car accident. Are you banning cars because that can affect someone else? I mean, at some point, where your personal rights end and where does the government begin? I think what Al's saying is actually going to be more important than we think with privacy issues. I think drones are going to be the size of mosquitoes. I think cameras are going to be tiny. And I think at some point, safety-wise, we're going to have to take losing our privacy over that.
I think so, too. And I think we've already lost it. And I think we've given it up already. I think we've given up our privacy for convenience. And it kind of was like what I was talking about earlier in terms of being in a dense population. When you take advantage of these convenient things, you have somebody comes and walks your dog for you with an app. Somebody, you can turn your...
Yeah, right. All of this stuff is...
All these things, having Postmates delivered, having your groceries delivered, having a table delivered, all these things that you're taking advantage of, you do have to be prepared to give some of that up. And one of those things is privacy. Sorry, we got your information. We know what you want. You're an algorithm now. Congratulations. So just understand that, like, if you decide to be on the grid, you got to be all the way on. And if you want to be off, there are pros and cons to that as well.
You should tell people your real name is Algorithm.
Oh, yeah.
We also want to let you know that they have calls to intensify for Governor Ralph Northam to resign. Of course, this is the Virginia governor that we told you about yesterday. On his yearbook page is a picture of someone in blackface and a Ku Klux Klan hood. He then said it wasn't him, but he did do blackface.
That's a real Sophie's choice.
Yeah, you can't decide which one you want to be on that one. And then
I really don't know which one I would say I was. That's how horrible.
That's how bad that is.
Yes.
And then he also says that he actually, in a news conference, I think 2 days ago, he did do blackface for Michael Jackson for a Halloween costume, but only a little because the shoe polish is so damned hard to get off. Then he almost tried to moonwalk when they asked him to, and his wife politely said, I think that might be a really bad idea.
I mean, this is the governor?
Yeah.
He's making, like, poor decisions for a frat dude.
Yeah.
It just seems like I don't understand why we don't demand more from the people that we elect.
Oh, we're demanding. People are like, resign, get out of there. He's just not
why
listening.
does he have a choice? I mean, if I did that here at DBL, I would be gone.
Well, now here's
if you did that at Chipotle, you would be fired.
Well, they do have a way out. You can impeach the governor, and you can also call for a referendum from the citizens to get him out of there. So they have two choices that can get him out of there. So you're right. And I think that'll happen if they don't get him out of there.
Do you think he'll moonwalk away from office?
Someone said on the Washington Post, you can't moonwalk your way out of this one.
There we go. Yeah, that's embarrassing. And then the worst thing is, like, that day that he's fired, and then he's just at home with the wife, and they're just on the couch. He's like, remember when I was governor yesterday before the blackface? And she's like, yeah, I have to have sex with you tonight. How embarrassing. I feel worse for her that's her partner. That's your life partner.
Well, she seems...
that loser.
Yeah,
wow, way to pick him.
Yeah, well,
there's something called an
let's not go on her. He's the real doofus. He's
who put that in the...
In 1984, it felt like he goes, well, it's from the past. It's not 1884, honey. It's 1984. I was 2. I was alive.
Yes.
I was alive. What are you publishing this in a yearbook? What are you doing?
It was a medical yearbook. This wasn't like some kind of,
gosh,
school for wayward children. These are doctors.
Remember what Erica said about this? It's pedestrian racism. It's so, sure, publish it in my yearbook. So strange.
And not one person in that editing room was like, maybe we don't put the black. Not one person was like, you know what?
I'm going to double question this. I'm going to question this.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm all with this on this one. So Rainey does bring up a great point about the cigarettes. This is a ban on selling cigarettes, right? Not smoking cigarettes.
Well, isn't that a loophole, though?
Well, interesting discussion to bring up. So we're going to be talking about all that and more. We have such a good show for you today. I feel like I'm on Saturday Night Live. We got a great show for you. Halsey's here.
Halsey is doing.
I know, that's why.
Oh, what's Halsey's song?
She's singing and hosting. She's doing the double duty.
And I can't name one song from Halsey.
I'm bad in love. That one, right?
Thank you so much, Kelly Schubert. Thank you so much. I'm sure that was it.
I don't know if that's Halsey.
I think so. Whatever it was great. We're going to leave you now. Are we going to a Heart Threads, Kelbell?
No.
Oh, we're just leaving you. You guys have your frothy coffee. Enjoy. Write us what the weather's like and how you feel about a ban on cigarettes. Let us know, guys.
Love you guys.
Weird.